Hey there, I'm Matthew Siqueira and today I'll show you guys how I turn these into these.
No, Black Widow, but like a Melito with my flow. Swinging through this concrete jungle city, whoa, watch me go.
To start things off, I asked on my Instagram what kitchen sounds I should use to make a song, and these were some of the answers I got. If you want to join me in making future videos and know about upcoming content, make sure to follow me on my Instagram. Anyways, let's get started. So after I got these suggestions and they gave me a few ideas on how I can use those specific sounds, I simply recorded them using my phone and I experiment with a bunch of random things I could think of as well, and these are some of the recordings I got. Now that I had all my kitchen sounds recorded, it was time to hop into Logic and get started. I have done a few projects where I turned random sounds into instruments, and this was pretty much all I was doing for these. So the idea is to just turn them into samples first, instruments or whatever they will turn to be, and make them musical and give me inspiration. I usually separate them into sections as we can see here. We have drums, melodic things, basses, percussive elements. Bottom tracks are just vocals I recorded. So with that idea, I tried to build a drum kit. So this is what I used to make my kick. For a lot of my samples, I basically use the Q sampler. There's one sound I can think of that I didn't use it. They just allow me to basically sample them, do some simple editing with them. And then as we can see, a lot of processing on each sound. I have a lot of sound toys stuff I'm using and even like guitar amps because I'm trying to elevate these sounds into musical ideas. After I had all my samples done and I was happy with them, I had a very specific sound palette to work with, and it kind of reminded me a lot of the Metro Boomin Spiderverse album. So I basically took that inspiration into these and, wrote lyrics about Spider-Man and stuff. Things like these really remind me of the album. It has that ambience and it just felt like Spider-Man 2099 was about to jump into the track, I usually like to start with harmony when I'm writing something, and usually starts on the guitar because that's my main instrument, so I basically came up with this idea on the guitar. It was something like that, and then I basically transposed into a really simple MIDI keyboard so I can play around with the parts and choose which sound will be playing which notes. So basically the entire song uses this chord progression, really simple, except for the pre-chorus section that I wanted to change things up a bit and have a feeling from this section of Annihilate.
Nothing can shake me now.
So this is what the pre-chorus harmony sounded like. But it's not just that, because basically I took my vocal line and I used this very cool plugin to turn my vocal into a synthesizer that basically worked to support the entire melody. So this is what the vocal track sounded like alone.
We need a hero who will take the lead. A hero for the city will bleed.
So that's the idea for the pre-chorus basically. So after I had all the melodical elements of the song written, I moved on to the drums, and I already had a drum kit set because before that I had set up all the categories for sounds as we can see here. And also I worked on the bass. None of the recording of sounds in the kitchen I took could work as a bass. It was really hard, so I kind of cheated. I basically looped a section of my sample where I'm spinning a plastic bow, and I added a lot of effects to it, and this is what it sounds like as we can see here. And then with the drums. It's not bad. It does not sound like a normal drum kit, but it's not bad, it works. In terms of processing, we can see, I have the basic EQ, compressor, a tuner, because these sounds, they're not in tune. I need to tune them into C, so then I can place the notes on the MIDI. So here's the bass effect rack. I basically found this preset for my Soundtoys effect rack, which is basically a bass preset, and it works really well. Now for the drums, the kick is the one that suffered the most, as well as the hi-hat, because I was not happy with this hi-hat at all. That's what the hi-hat sounds like, completely raw. So it's a terrible sound. I tried to fix it with a lot of stuff. I also found these percussive sounds that I sampled them a certain way, like the rice cooker, salt shaker, and I actually really liked them, and they gave a nice bounce to the beat. And at that stage, I found that it would work really well to have a rap verse with it, so I had an idea of what I was going for in terms of lyrics and vocals. So this is what the beat sounds like at this stage. Really bouncing, rhythmic. I can really see a rap verse happening on this section. So after I had the beat done and I was happy with that, I decided to move on to the vocals. I get inspired by the Metro Boomin album, so I wanted like a melodic chorus, for example, with like auto-tune, and then rap verse, and then a pause chorus or pre-chorus or whatever that was also melodic. So I had my structure down, and I started writing some lyrics about Spider-Man. And just like with the sounds, I wanted the vocals to have the same vibe to it, kind of futuristic, kind of dark as well. So I used certain plugins, again, Soundtoys, and this time I used Waves. I didn't have these plugins. I ended up buying them through the process of making these, and I decided to use on this song. One of them was the vocal synthesizer I showed before. Basically turning my vocal into an instrument. So this is what the vocals sound like alone by itself.
Scared, I'm taken by a trying to hide, but I'm just far scared, losing my mind while trying to find a way up from here.
As you can see, very futuristic. That's probably to do with the auto-tune and the harmonies going on. So I had the beat done and the vocals done. So this is what a song only using kitchen sounds sound like.
Scared, I'm taken by a trying to hide, but I'm just far scared, losing my mind while trying to find a way up from here. No, like a weirdo, but I can believe though with my flow, swinging through this concrete jungle city. Won't watch me go. Sunday made you save the day, Monday made my grades glow. Someone tried to stop me, I fight it out, didn't go with it out. What do I do now? But have faith in Jay. Things will be okay. Through dimensions don't find the way. And I'm in danger. I'm not the prey, but they better pray, cause Spider-Man will save another day. We need a hero who will take the lead. A hero for the city will bleed. Scared, I'm taken by a try to hide, but I'm just far scared, losing my mind while trying to find a way up from here.
So that's it. I know it's not a long song. I might make a video where people can rap on top of the beat. That might be cool. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. Anyway, this is how I created a song only using kitchen sounds. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown of it. And again, if you want to be part of future content I make, follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting stuff there. I'll also be leaving all these sounds available to download in the description of this video. A kitchen sound pack if you want to give it a go. I'm making music using kitchen sounds. Let me know if you do. I would love to see what you make with these sounds. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you like music content. Even if you're not a musician, this is for entertainment, because if it was for musicians, I would be breaking down how to EQ guitars. Stay tuned for future videos and see you next time.
No, like a weirdo, but I can believe though with my flow.